Hey everyone, your girl is here. I didn't need to speed up like that, but I did. So anyhow, guys, you guys can see this is literally like the first time that I am walking today. It has been wild and insane. The average itch was just definitely saying hello just today. So I didn't sleep as well because of it. So it was wild, guys. But anyhow, you guys can see I just walked the trail down to the right, from, you guys know where, everything kind of meets up there. So I just walked the trail down to the right, and I'm gonna do that every single Wednesday, or at least try. Just walk the trail to the right Wednesday at location 3. And then, it's just nice because, it's like my special that I did, after I made my last video with you guys, checking the trail straight ahead. So, but anyhow, I did want to come on and share, this is going to be a Wild Wednesday double twist, and work on a second goal, or work on looping the second part entirely. So what does that mean, Alyssa? Well, I'll tell you guys. So I did want to share, more than likely, I just brought up, funerals and all of that and going to McDonald's, probably because I had just shared that thing on my Instagram. It's like, yeah, right, if I threw that around all the time and I carried around, the pictures of where I laid, right, and told people to get over themselves, so I can ask you that, more than likely I would have to worry big time about assassinations too, right? But anyhow, I don't want to get back into that. You guys have probably maybe already read a little bit of it yourselves. So speaking of, fall foliage, right, and orange comes out and all of that. So for example, if a Dodge Dart is beside you, right, and the sunset is in your rear or side mirror too, and you need to merge in, but you don't see that the Dodge Dart is pretty close because it blends right in, right? And they get all beside themselves, they honk the horn, and even if they do only that, it's still the appropriate, like, they'll get over it, right? But now if they do more than just honk the horn and get all upset, well, that's an instance of no need for a reaction like that, and also no need for a reaction, and they'll get over it. So it's like so you get like both bases covered there. But also, if if there was actually an emergency, well, then there's steps that they can also take too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes there's police escorts, where they follow the police and the police officer has it on their lights, or there's four-way flashers. I've seen a lot of people do that, because it's always not cool, and you always have to think, before you pretend to be the police. A lot of people probably feel like crap every day, well, every year at least in this country, because they see a person driving really fast and they think it's cool, right, to stay beside another car on the freeway, as their way of saying, hey, the speed limit's 70, right? And then they feel like complete shit whenever the person who is flying down the road gets off at the hospital exit. And it makes it even worse, right, when there's like a specific time stamp maybe in an obituary and they're like, oh my gosh, I can hardly live with myself now, right? So do you know what I'm saying? So anyhow, there's actions that they could have taken and that they should have been taking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you not take those actions if there's actually an emergency? To just turn on your four ways and just act. I mean, because that's really all that some people have, like civilians, I guess you would call it, yeah. So that's all that we really have to say, hey, there's an emergency, there's a reason why I am just all out right now. So anyhow, I did want to share that. That's like a double twist. And then also, speaking of the police, because I talked about police escorts, Wild Wednesday double twist, right, guys? So for example, if a police officer insists, right, that a person gets charges because, I don't know, they just lunge at them, right? They kind of black out, and depending on how their porch is, right, they could be kind of standing where the steps are, you know. So if they lunge or they go to just run down the steps, I don't know, maybe they want to like punch the ground or something, right? And they don't want to punch the wood, they want to actually punch the ground. And they like push the officers out of the way. And because again, they're just, I mean, that's catastrophic news, right? And the police officer persists, right, to press charges, right? And then also downplays it with, well, I mean, it's only 2 years, right? It's like, no, okay, that's how you show people the law book is more important than the oath, right? And I probably would have no issue, to an extent, right, standing up the way they did to the officers in Colorado, right, who, again, was a little bit different than that. But that's like a whole different, just, yeah, I would have no issue standing up for sure, guaranteed. But you know what I'm saying. So now, work on a goal, right, which will actually be work on 2 professions. So I'll try to find a way to loop the 2 professions together, or I'll just have professions on each end. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, for example, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, it's the same stupidity, brushing them off is like the same stupidity as like involuntary manslaughter. And that's also another thing, in my opinion, where shows how stupid everything is. Because obviously, you know, they were being respectful, they were being a good driver, right? They were going 20 miles under, but they still hit somebody during dense fog, right? And they get blamed for it. That, I don't even, to an extent, I don't think that involuntary manslaughter should even be a charge. Because, I mean, think about, you know, how, you know, like, whenever you're talking about, like, intent, right, and sometimes, like, that law by Mike says it's hard to really prove intent. So, yeah, how do we know that somebody who worked on a roller coaster didn't just say, no big deal, it's towards the end of the season, right, you know, the rides aren't going to be used that much, no big deal, right, you know what I'm saying, more than likely water wouldn't wear away, at the rides and all of that, but still, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you really say that that person, if somebody dies, right, falling off the, how can you really say that it was involuntary manslaughter on somebody else? Like, why is that considered an accident, right? And that's an instance of work on it then too. Right, like I said, with we don't understand, but we just accept. Awesome double Wednesday twist here. So we don't understand, but we just accept with certain things, right? So, but for that, we don't understand and we fight it. It's stupid, you know, like they just get stuck, you know. So, and then it's like, yeah, I mean, the intent doesn't matter, you know, that you were going to work. The intent, none of that matters. And I still am going to insist that you go through the justice system and downplay your feelings. It's not like you actually did a crime and you're saying it's only 2 years, right? No, they didn't do any crime. It was in a mistake. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So, Wild Wednesday double twist. And really, even what would you do? Twist, too. Because, you know, it's like, what would you do, right? If, you know, you were directly affected by something like that. You know, like somebody you know, right? So, and I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that people think that it's stupid because they just drive away. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they're able to fix the damage themselves, and the stuff basically goes unknown, right? As to what car struck this car. Do you know what I'm saying? And some stuff is like so hard, especially in the fog time, right? So maybe then they try to hurry up and get home, right? And fix everything before, you know, security cameras and street cameras can catch their plates, you know, going through the town. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. We don't understand. We just accept. Wait, hang on. Wild Wednesday double twist with not understanding but accepting, and what would you do? Twist frenzy. How about that, guys? That'll be today's video title. So, yeah. Holy cow. But yeah, I guess I'll just walk up the trail up here with you guys. And just to keep talking here as well. Also, it is also kind of cool because M is before N alphabetically, and bed is before Brad alphabetically as well. So isn't that cool? It's like the B-E, right, borders the, like, in numerical order. Do you know what I'm saying? So Maryland, right, V-E is right by Maryland, V-R is right by New York. Maryland and then New York. Well, I'll actually, never mind. New Jersey. Yeah, wouldn't it be North or South Dakota? Yeah, I think it is. New Jersey, New York, Vermont. Is that how, New York? Yeah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. And then it goes Alabama, Delaware. No. Oh my god, literally, guys, I used to know the whole, like, up until Florida. Alabama, there we go. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, and Connecticut. Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, no, not Iowa, Illinois. Yeah, Illinois. Or, hang on. Yeah, and then Indiana. Yeah, you guys get the point. And then it's like, yeah. Anyhow, pretty close. So, yeah, it would technically be New Jersey. Pennsylvania also then. And this gets you into another twist that you didn't share. So, like I said, with helping tourists, right, and everything, because KISS 1027 is actually broadcast from a Budweiser studio in Williamsport, and they also say that in their, you know, like, top of the hour, kind of like ID and all of that. So, you would think that Susquehanna County would be like down near Harrisburg. You know what I'm saying? Because they say KISS 1027 Susquehanna Valley, but then the actual Susquehanna and the news networks that say Susquehanna Valley are like, hang on, let me think here again. What was it? Schuylkill, there we go. Like from Schuylkill down to, like, well, really the edge of the state. Yeah, and then I think like Philadelphia news networks cover up to like Northampton and Lehigh and Scranton. But yeah, if you guys go on and check it out, you guys can see. I know I shared before WGAL and all of that when I was down in Florida and Georgia. So my FCC talk, right? The different call letters for Pennsylvania. But anyhow, yeah, I think that would be, you know, like a wild Wednesday Pennsylvania twist, right? To make it easier for tourists. Because Susquehanna Valley, you know, everybody seems to kind of take that. So, yeah. And sometimes people even say, like, I forget what the station is. And I know it's not, I don't think it's YOU in Bloomsburg. But they're like, yeah, here in central Pennsylvania. It's like, Bloomsburg is in central Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, that's really, really good, guys. 15 minutes of good additions and walkthroughs and all of that. My walkthrough was probably just one speed up of 4 times, honestly. But yeah, nice little, yeah, I mean, I can't really think, like, wild. You know, guys, maybe, just maybe, I might consider this the wildest Wednesday, well, of the year so far. You guys remember last year, my Wild Wednesday, right before Christmas time. Holy cow, that was the wildest Wednesday of the year. But because there's all these, you know, different twists, right? And I related Pennsylvania back to, like, alphabetical sequences, right? Yeah, maybe I could, honestly. So, I mean, it's a different twist, but hey, that's why it's a Wild Wednesday, right? You don't need to, you know, focus on just one topic, and you don't need to loop in the same way, relating to the same things. Yeah, Wild Wednesday, guys. So, that's crazy. That is Wild Wednesday. Because I related, you know, overreacting and they'll get over it, which is totally different. But I mean, that's different. That isn't the case where it's actually different. And I just shared, speaking of, you know, getting charges. It's different, right? For involuntary manslaughter versus something else. Yeah. How about that, guys? So yeah. But yeah, I guess I'll show you guys down here now. You guys can see it's like really nothing. Definitely a bummer. I'm not gonna go up here too far, honestly. But yeah, nice little 20-minute, guys, for today. And because of the length of time, it makes it even like more wild, because this is a relation back to math, right? Like I said, where tests are like this much of your grade, right? So if you're able to cover all of these topics and loop them back together in less than 20, that's very wild, guys, right? It's not like it took me all this time for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Wild Wednesday, guys. Alright, guys. So, as soon as I get up to this tree that is bent over there, we will officially end it. And then I can't think of any additions from just listening to this. So, I'll probably just get this up with my sleep log. And it was also like, you know, the calm before the storm. Because I slept so good, you know, following my issues last week. Well, technically less than a week ago, but still. Well, exactly a week ago. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, because you guys remember Wednesday, right before my run on Friday, it was ridiculous. But really, though, it was a good setup. And it was a different setup. Because it wasn't like I said, where it was like 3 days. And then I was like, well, we're not going to count this as a... Well, no, that was even earlier, too. You know, so it's like a different... And then all of these different things are just adding all together, right? So, and they're making different context additions. Wild Wednesday. This might be the wildest Wednesday of the year, guys. But since I don't have, you know, since I don't have many Wild Wednesdays in general, you know, usually you only pick out one. But when it comes to Freaky Fridays, though, you usually have to pick. And I have a hard selection this year, guys. Speaking of, you know, doing my goals here in like 2.5 months. Crazy to think, honestly. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my goals again in like 2.5 months. So, I have, obviously, as soon as I move to my new place with the guy and the lottery, and then I have 4th of July. Oh my god, that's wild, guys. Let me think back. What was I don't remember the third one, but I'm not going to take up too much more time, guys. This is a very good 20 minutes, so. I did also, I guess I do have to share this though. So I did watch just one episode of Blind Spot. Hopefully I'm off in time tonight to finish the second. And then tomorrow I can binge watch both of them and then be done. So that'll be fun. And yeah, because, you know, like I said, that trail, or binge watch both of them in the morning and then do this trail up here further up the mountain in the afternoon tomorrow. So definitely be very fun. But yeah, so like I said, you know, yesterday was kind of the calm before the storm, you know, because I didn't have to go till 3. I was able to get at least 10,000. Then I basically finished them at work. It was actually closer to 11,000 before work at 3. So today I work at 2. But I did also communicate more with the girl on OnlyFans, even though I have still unfollowed her. And my unfollow is official on October 10th. So that'll be much more money for Florida. Trying to think any other small little updates. I mean, not really. I only have 2 nights, really. Well, 3 that I have to... Yeah. I obviously did do some Mr. Ballin on Sunday. And I finished the last half of his story, the Orange Short Society. That one was crazy, how long it took. I couldn't quite figure out what he was trying to say until he officially said it at the end. I was like, oh my gosh. So that was wild. Yeah, I don't really think there's much more, guys. Yeah, so like I said, I'll go through here and post my photos and then maybe post a conversation that I had with her. I might just wait until October 10th when, you know, my subscription officially goes away. Because guys, if I'm not leaving till Florida Florida until this time next year, that is 20 times 12. Well, 5 is 100, and then do 5 more. That's 200, 240. Oh, I guess I could have just done 12 times 2, and then carried the 0. Blonde moment, Alyssa, but hey, different. Guys, I also just set myself up again. Oh my god. Right? Like, there's 2 ways of doing everything, right? Some people do, you know, just give themselves an extra step so they really know. Like, I'm not talking like what's 6 plus 9. Some people can just do like 6 plus 10, and then since you added 1, you have to subtract 1 to, you know, 0 it out and make it even, and then you have 14. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's kind of cool. No, 15. My bad. Jeez. 6 plus 10 is 16 minus the 1 because you added 1. 15. My bad, guys. But yeah, you guys get the point. So, guys, this is definitely the wildest Wednesday. And I didn't even try right there when I was talking about math. That's crazy, guys. Wildest Wednesday of the year. so far. That's just what I'm gonna call this video, guys. No doubt. So, anyhow, guys, I'll go ahead here and get going. Start walking back down and talk to everyone later. Hey everyone, your girl is here. So I wanted to come on and just give myself more time since this is the wildest Wednesday of the year. So Monday night when I was visiting with my gram, I decided to go through my phone a little bit as well. Just she got a phone call from her sister. I did want to also go through my search terms as to how people find me, because I know I shared before, right? Like, I didn't know what the external links were, right? And I had brought up, right, that at one point I did, right, do like an Instagram search of everybody's name, right? So kind of curious, right, how many may have did it to me. But you know, and everybody knows, right, there are pervs obviously in this world. So obviously I ran into one at the interstate back in 2021. So yeah, I know all about it, guys. Literally just walking like I do here, right? Anyhow, guys, I did want to just share all my search terms and everything. It was kind of cool to see that I am kind of suggested. And I think what that means is usually, you know, it'll show like similar videos on the right hand side if you're on a computer, and then if you're on the left hand side, it'll show or on a phone, it'll just show the rest of them right through below. So I kind of think that was crazy that I came up, or 59 of my views, but really that's not that bad, honestly. If 59 of my views came from a video that I'm wondering what video comes up if you put in that most search term. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. Like, what video of mine comes up? I'm gonna have to figure it out myself, I guess. I never put that into YouTube, so I wouldn't know what kind of videos come up if you put that in. So anyhow, guys, that's crazy, but I did want to share. And then I also clicked on a couple of them as well, and a lot of them are similar to like try-ons and all of that. So but that's not where, and actually it doesn't say how many subscribers came from seeing it in suggested videos and all of that stuff. It just says if they subscribed or not. So yeah, so like I said, I'll go ahead here and post all those pictures too at the end. There's quite a bit of them, but yeah. So I wonder what other stuff comes in where it says like, it was like, was it uncensored thong or something? I don't understand, guys. So anyhow, thanks again for watching. Talk to you guys later.